Welcome to the freaking HASSCAST. This is a blessed day, and it's late at night. The fuzzy socks are on. Maybe you can see them. I don't know. Shit. Anyways, yeah, I got fuzzy socks on because it's getting colder and colder, you know what I mean? It's October 26, 2020, and I'm broadcasting to you a not live podcast. It's called HASSCAST, and if you don't know, HASSCAST is a show where I started off with a film review. Then, I plug that film into the watchability scale, go into some movie news, and afterwards check out new rap albums or singles, then some rap world news. Then I discuss an old nostalgia case about an old movie and review that old movie that is significant to me in general. That's from my past. And, every day is hectic for me, but today was pretty hectic for me. The only thing that wasn't hectic is going to the gym early at the morning around 7. I started having oatmeal and my stomach feels tremendous, and I have less cravings because of the oatmeal. So I like oatmeal is a very healthy thing to have. Put some berries and banana in it, maybe even peanut butter, but peanut butter and berries don't go good. Just peanut butter and banana goes good. And also eating healthy in general will help your immune system. If you get certain diseases, it will benefit you afterwards. Just a reminder for you dumb people. You know what I mean. Anyways, what's been going on though is like I've been just, chilling and just watching new movies and stuff and relaxing. But let's just do a film review time now. Borat 2. Let's just do a watchability scale on that. Sorry, my X-Men thing was pulled up. Yeah, look at this movie poster. It's a bit wild. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's the movie poster for the first Borat, Bit wild. Yeah, here's the real movie poster. Look at that. Oh god, I zoomed in on a specific part, but he's got a dick mask. Look at that dick mask. That looks weird. But yeah, I'm gonna need an extra large dick mask. Anyways, Borat is about a foreign man who wants to do the duty of his country and give a gift to Michael Pence in order to gain the trust of the American president. The concept is already whack off of the bat, and I'm gonna need it's a critique. I'm gonna need to say that this is like a critique of the ultra-conservative man who blindly follows ideologies that are wrongfully put in place to promote freedom, but always end up violating that freedom, and that it was intended to protect. The movie does a good job of comedically critiquing the conservative, misogynistic, and xenophobic man, and a majority of this type of person is a supporter of a radical world leader that is governing the country that I live in, which is the United States. This is a great movie if you like politics and over-the-top humor. The way it portrayed current events was very creative. It was actually a very fantastic movie, and it's a disturbing but necessary film that really needed to be made, and the circumstances it was made under is actually very surprising. That they kept going after a certain event happened in the world around March. And the way it just kind of built off of that and tied it together was very creative, and actually had a special cameo from someone who got a certain disease at the end. Actually, one of the first person who I got had that disease. Very creatively done movie, and I love movies that critique society because those movies need to be made to call people out on their bullshit. And this movie, what it does is call people out on their bullshit, a certain type of people who are usually hateful, and that is the xenophobic and misogynistic racist man. It's a horrible thing to act in those three icks and ists, and this critiques those horrible type of attitudes and type of people who need to be changed and taught how to be a nice individual and a person. So overall, very important movie to watch, and That's all I have to say. Very creative in the way it was shot. It was very mockumentary style, so I can fuck with that a lot. I like that mockumentary style. I haven't seen a lot of mockumentaries, and I'm pretty sure that's the genre this would go under. There is actors, but the cool thing is that the actors, you know who the actors are, like, you know, Sacha Baron Cohen or whatever his name is, are, you know, actors, but you don't know who's an actor and who's not. And that's what makes it interesting. It's a very thing to, it's just something to digest, and it's not for everybody. If you just want like a goofy, I mean, it makes you think, and if you're a dumb person who doesn't want to think, then this isn't the movie for you. But that kind of sounds like I'm trying to be smart, and that wasn't the intention of me saying that. I'm just saying, if you want to think and contemplate existence, or certain people's existence in powerful places in this country, then this is the movie for you. All right, let's go into the movie news. Oh wait, shit, I forgot to plug it into the watchability scale. I'm gonna say worthy investment of time, because it is disturbing, so I don't really feel like watching it again. I'd rather show someone it than watch it again on my own. So it doesn't get a rewatchable, gets a worthy investment of time. Guy Ritchie collaborator Dexter Fletcher says this about Sherlock Holmes 3. Sherlock hit its own issues on and off. That's sort of hitting on the back burner of at the moment, until it becomes clear where the world is at and what's going to happen. So, if you're interested in Sherlock Holmes 3, it's on the back burner until where the world at is clear to the guy Dexter Fletcher, who's in a key position of power in the making of that film. Just letting you know that for movie news. And another piece of movie news is Jared Leto is to play Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and discuss like I want to discuss with y'all how it's confusing that this is happening, because, like, you know, they're really trying to do this whole multiverse thing, I guess, with how DC is going to be executed, and to me that's confusing to me. And I mean, I know the DC fans will be like, you just don't get it, you just don't get Zack Snyder's vision. Well, sometimes people don't want to understand the vision of a I mean, the only good thing about the Snyder Cut is that it's a statement that studios should not interfere with movies. But other than that, I don't think that this is going to be the great product. I feel like he's just appeasing to his fans because he has like a cult-like following. But I still am going in interested to see Jared Leto again. I thought he was actually alright, and I think Suicide Squad's overhated. So look out for Jared Leto in the new Justice League remake, or the new Justice League director's cut on HBO Max. And another piece of news is, and by the way, that's Jared Leto's Joker. Refresh your memory. Yeah. We got a new Mel Gibson movie we want to talk about. Crank's co-director Mark Neville, I'm not going to pronounce that name, has cast Cole Hauser and Mel Gibson in his next film titled Panama. The movie follows highly decorated former Marine sent undercover by his old commanding officer on a dangerous mission to oversee an important deal with some nefarious characters. Hauser will play the Marine, with Gibson starring as his former commander. The film is set to begin filming in December in Puerto Rico. If this is anything like Crank, it's going to be a big, high-octane action spectacle. I see Mel Gibson, and I say yes, because he's a great actor, despite things he said in his personal life, which are very questionable. And I don't know. I really like Dragged Across Concrete. That was a great movie. Definitely check that one out. Dragged Across Concrete. But I feel like that's not going to be a movie that's really liked a lot now. Maybe, I don't know. I hope to see a person in this new day and age talk about that movie, but maybe a person a while ago would have liked it more after this year, because this year has certain statements and movements that could be applied to dragged across concrete compared to now. And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, what do you think about Mel Gibson movies? If you ever get a chance to talk with me, tell me your favorite Mel Gibson movie. I like the original Mad Maxes are very good, but the Tom Hardy one will always be the greatest Mad Max. All right. So those are movie news, and now let's hop into Benny the Butcher's Burden of Proof album. We're going to be reviewing this new rap album. Alrighty, here we go. My first introduction to Benny the Butcher was after hearing him on the new Frederick Jamal Tipton album, Alfredo and the Alchemist did that album as well. And he was on the song Frank Lucas, and I heard a lot of buzz about Griselda, a record company out of Buffalo. So, here we are. I'm listening to this very heavily promoted album that is surprisingly more mainstream than I thought it would have been. Mainly because of the features, but also Griselda is starting to get its shine. So prior to this coming out, I decided, why don't I check out The Plugs I Met, which is an outstanding extended play released a while ago. It's a brilliant body of work. And with this one, I don't think it's better than The Plugs I Met, because I like The Plugs I've Met. It was short and sweet. But I do think that this is a great first listen if you want to get into Benny the Butcher. So he's kind of follows that coke rap. People that mainly rap about how they used to do sell cocaine and stuff, and how they used to be a kingpin. And but he always does it in a creative way. And if you like 90s old head shit, this is for you. And also just gets you pumped up. Benny gets me pumped up. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is production handled by Hit Boy, and he's been on a roll this year doing productions for albums such as King Disease by Nas and Detroit 2 by Big Sean, producing everything on it. But on Hit Boy's Wikipedia, which needs to be worked on, it doesn't show that he does all the these should be listed as albums that he does. I wish that Detroit 2 was Big Sean and Hit Boy, and King's Disease was Nas and Hit Boy, because he does so much effort, and the beats are what makes these three albums, Burden of Proof, Detroit 2, and King's Disease. That's what makes those three albums fucking outstanding. And Hit Boy is one of the greatest producers ever. Really, come on now. If you disagree, give each album that he's done another listen, because it's outstanding, the work that he has been able to achieve this year. And also he's done a lot of work on Watch the Throne with Jay-Z. He did Drake's Trophies, and it's fantastic. By the way, that Trophy song was off the Rise of an Empire, the Young Money album. Young Money needs to do another album. I know they're kind of all split apart, but they're one of my favorite rap groups, and each member of Young Money was so influential, honestly. They need to do another album or something. I know it's been 7 years, and they've kind of moved into their own type of label situations and stuff like that, but come on now. I want to see that. I want to see Young Money get back together, those Bedrock days. If you know that song Bedrock, you know what I'm talking about. The chemistry they had was undeniably beautiful. And another rapper out of that era, that Young Money era, who was not in Young Money, is Big Sean. And I actually thought he was very overhated during that era. Everybody thought it was corny, but I actually really like him. And this year I had a new album called Detroit 2, which is mainly produced by Hit Boy, and Hit Boy did a lot of the production on this album. Speaking of Big Sean, he gave an excellent verse on Timeless on this album, Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher. It was a celebratory track on this album. There's no skips on this album. I'll give a few bars. I'll give a few bars on the highlight tracks of the album and give my top 3 features. That's how we're just gonna continue with the review. So on the intro track, Burden of Proof, which is an amazing intro track, Benny raps, I know how it feel when they don't like that you did it different, 'cause they dick riding trends just like them people that you mimic. Freddie Gibbs gives a great feature on another track on the album, but I preferred Benny the Butcher and Frederick Jamel Tipton's album Alfredo, which was the song Frank Lucas, which is how I mentioned earlier how I got into Benny the Butcher and Griselda in general. I do plan on checking out Conway the Machine and West Side Gun more. After hearing their features on this album, I was more convinced to check out West Side Gun. And I already kind of have checked out West Side Gun a lot after hearing his collaboration song with MF Doom. And you know what would be a great collaboration album is Freddie Gibbs and MF Doom, because they both have worked with Madlib in a beautiful fashion. Well, Benny the Butcher has Lil Wayne on his song Timeless, and Lil Wayne gives a memorable bar on this song. It replays in my head about every couple hours of the day ever since I first listened to this project. I'll come get your ass on career day and end your career. Fascinating bar, memorable as fuck. Wheezy is top 5 to ever do it. The last song, Legend, is a great one as well. My top 3 features on this album, Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher, are Lil Wayne, Dom Kennedy, and Freddie Gibbs. Dom Kennedy was quite interesting. All songs on this are great. Definitely please stream Burden of Proof. Excellent album. Tyler Herro by Jack Harlow is a new song that I overall fuck with. I'm going to review this track. Boy Wonder, who is Drake's longtime producer, makes a memorable flute-sounding instrumental that paved the way for this awesome track to be a banger and a new hit for the handsome Harlow. I hope this gets as big as What's Poppin', but if it ends up being on Jack's new project, that might be a possibility. But if it's not on his new album, it's probably like not gonna be as big as What's Poppin'. But if it will get close, like I'm talking top 5, if it gets a remix, if Gunna or Lil Baby hopped on that, because they do that flute type of stuff. I think if Lil Baby hopped on this, it would be number 1 in the country. And I mean, Jack Harlow does live in Atlanta, so that would be cool. Yeah, the best way to describe this is like a irresistible banger, but I feel like it would be an even more irresistible banger if Lil Baby was on this. Because as I said, he has experience with more flute-based instrumentals. The subject matter for the song is it's for a basketball player from the Heat, and since I don't follow basketball, this is like an automatic disconnect for me. I can see that as a reason for the song's potential to blow up, although, and it already is on that path. But the fact that it's tied to a basketball player is gonna have it like blow up. Like, I don't know who Tyler Herro is, but I saw the music video, and I don't know how to judge that. I don't know how to judge that. Say an educated opinion about Tyler Herro, because I don't follow basketball. And yeah, sorry for not showing the image. I gotta work on that. Shuffling through the image and stuff. Motherfuckers be tired. That's all I gotta say. I have shit I'm doing. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, what did you think of Tyler Herro? It was actually pretty fire song. The music video was like slight. I don't really remember the music video like that. I do fuck with what he was wearing in the music video, and I'll show that right here. Like that New Balance, because he actually has a deal with New Balance, and the video is currently sitting at 5.19 views. And I didn't know Tyler Herro plays for the Miami Heat or something. Cool. Look at these guys. It's an alright track. The last basketball inspired track I heard was like, draft. No, I haven't really heard a basketball inspired track for a while. The last sports inspired track I heard was Draft Day by Drake. That was fire. That was like a classic. But I feel like it would go down as a classic even more if Johnny Manziel performed as he would be expected in the league around that time, but he ended up not doing so. But yeah, it just really didn't happen. It would have been cool to see Johnny Manziel, perform as he expected, but Drake obviously boosted his confidence around that time. So shout out Drake for boosting the confidence. Like, I bet it would be so, because it's such a connect between sports and rap music, and it's just cool to see this type of things go down. I love when rap kind of branches out into like connect with a different form of media and entertainment or field, such as like Travis Scott's original song for Tenet. That was such a cool song. Like the Tenet song that Travis Scott made, because it does match that sort of weird psychedelic crazy nature that surrounds most of Christopher Nolan's films, and it did surround the new track, so I can respect that a lot. And yeah, tell me guys what you thought of Tyler Herro, that new Jack Harlow song, down in the comments section below. Why'd I snap? I saved that for the end, god damn it. Anyways, the only rap news that I have to talk about is that Kanye West did a Joe Rogan podcast, and it was absolutely excellent. Kanye West is an out-of-the-box thinker. He is probably the greatest musician to ever walk the planet. And he's a smart man, and he knows what he's talking about. And you should vote for him or Joe Biden. I think it's like Joe Biden or Kanye for me. They're both great thinkers, and but I respect Kanye a bit more, because like Kanye's just left such a legacy of music for himself and done so much great things for the Christian community, which I don't happen to subscribe to. I'm not a Christian at all. I agree with some principles in Christianity, but I'm more of like I tap into Buddhism more. But I do respect that he has like a lot of heart and soul that goes in everything, and he's a very innovative thinker. And I feel like even if he doesn't win this election, the statements he made will still like serve a purpose in maybe 4 years from now. We'll see him be elected as an official. But I feel like it's necessary for Biden to come in, and then he'll come in later. But I feel like if he loses, fucking run for like governor of Wyoming, which is where Kanye lives, and that would be fire. That would be outstanding. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Recent scientific studies have shown that the amount of bitches you'll get will increase by 10% if you buy Mike Media Incorporated merchandise. It also has a huge HASSCAST logo on the back and a Mike Media Incorporated patch on the front. So click the link in the description of this video, and also you can find it as the third link in my link tree, and you'll get some Mike Media Incorporated merch. Get it, get more bitches.
Alright. X-Men nostalgia case. Check this out. X-Men, the first one, is like probably my favorite X-Men. I think the first three are great. Everybody hates The Last Stand, but I love The Last Stand. I don't care what y'all say. I love The Last Stand. It's such a fire freaking like movie. But let's talk about the first one. It's kind of like like Wolverine is like the main character of this, and of him joining the X-Men and him having a shattered past, and the things that were set up during this are very good, like the Jean Grey story set up, his past being set up, and Rogue not liking the fact that she's a mutant set up, and it does kind of showcase the way like certain social justices are happening in America and were happening and still are to this day, in the fight for justice for sort of disenfranchised people in general, and mutants being the evolution of man are an example of that in the movie. And it's a very fascinating like comparison to what's going on now in the world, and like X-Men is so like awesome. Like it shows like that real political important things that should be discussed, and also contrasts them with cool superhero bad people that want things to stay that are kind of radical. Like they say like Patrick they say that Professor Xavier represents like Martin Luther King, and that Ian McKellen's Magneto represents like Malcolm X or something like that. Like it's a lot of comparisons with the real world that this does good, and that's why like will always be like most X-Men movies will always be better than like the Avengers for me. Hot take, I guess. But that's just how it goes for me, because it's just the way it contrasts with like how things are in the world and need to be worked on in the world, and how the disenfranchised people should be protected. It's overall a beautiful type of thing in storytelling it has going on in this movie series, and also like very cool superpowers for each person. But I just love those scenes in Canada with Wolverine. Like it's so iconic and shit, like him in Canada, like trying to survive on being a loner and like kind of a cowboy type of person in this cold area, and I love that like type of feel we got, you know what I mean? Yeah, wild type of superhero movie. But after this came out, the superhero movies started to become taken seriously. The first superhero movie that was kind of taken seriously at the time, besides like Batman and Superman, were like Blade. Blade was like a very well taken movie at the time, and I respect that out of that. Yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. What do you think of X-Men? What's your favorite X-Men movie? Do you like Avengers more? Tell me down in the comment section below. That's all I got for HASSCAST. I'll be casting out my thoughts to you on the next HASSCAST.